Hi friends, Budget Benina. I'm going to do a cooking video today, and I'm showing you we're going to make some goulash using things that we have in our pantry. I know some of you might have some things that are coming up on expiration or have expired, like I do on this can of tomatoes. They expired on 8/22. I don't have very many cans. I think this is the last of that I have that has expired. Everything else is going to be for 2023 and beyond that. And use what you have in your pantries to try and come up with the meal. So I have some wheat pasta left, spiraled instead of macaroni noodles. That's what I'm going to use. I'm not going to use all of this hamburger meat. I'm just going to use a third of it, and either the other half of that or divide the whole thing up into thirds, making other meals. A little bit of bread left. I'm going to show you how I make some garlic bread with that. And my spices that I'm using is oregano leaves, some basil, Himalayan salt, Italian seasoning, black pepper, like I said, my diced tomatoes, some tomato sauce, the pasta, and I will put a bay leaf in there too. So I'm going to turn this camera around and I'll show you more of what I'm doing. Okay friends, I'm kind of doing this solo today, so I wanted to show you what I'm doing here and at least get you up to where I'm at. I am getting both my burners going. Gonna boil the water here for the pasta, and I forgot to even mention this. If you got fresh onion, that'll work. If you don't like onion, that's okay. I only like cooked onion. So I have frozen onion in the freezer. And what I'm doing is I'm cooking it in with my hamburger meat that I will put in my pasta. You don't need to have a lot of meat. And through the years, we probably have, trained ourselves thinking more, we need more, we need more. Well, you just need a little bit to satisfy your bellies, and the pasta is definitely going to help fill up your belly too, along with eating the garlic bread. So I'm going to get this ground beef brown, and can't watch a pot, otherwise it won't boil. Get the water boiling, and when I get those things done, I will get back to you so we can put things together. Also, before I forget, I do season things in stages. I try not to add a lot of salt, but I did put some black pepper and a little bit of Himalayan sea salt in this. And I did add a little bit of sea salt into the water for the pasta. And I measured out 2 cups of pasta. Okay friends, I got the hamburger meat cooked and I put it into another little bowl, and what I'm doing is I'm going to stir in a small little bay leaf in there so it absorbs some of the flavors from the bay leaf while still waiting for that pasta water to boil. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that real quick, and I will get back to you in just a couple minutes. All right, our water is boiling, and we're going to add our pasta. I remember as a kid growing up, goulash was not something that my mom made. I had some friends that lived down the road, and they always wanted to eat at my house for dinner, and I always wanted to eat at their house because all we had was Mexican food at our house. But at my friend's house, they had different foods, which tasted good to me. And it was really funny. My friend Tina, who lived down the road, her mom was making goulash. And so I went over there for dinner. I'm like, this was the best thing ever. And her mom's like, what? She goes, that's poor man food. And I didn't know what that meant because at the time I never knew what poor man food was. So I went home and I asked my mom to make goulash, and I didn't know how to make it, and how she didn't know how to make it. So I went back over to my friend's house and I'm like, can you have your mom tell my mom how to make goulash? Well, we attempted it. It was all right. It wasn't the best. We used spaghetti sauce instead of just tomato paste or tomato sauce and diced tomatoes. But it wasn't bad. It was good. And when I got older, I realized, hey, that's not really how you make goulash, but it's an easy, quick, excuse me. Goulash is an easy, quick meal to make, and it's not very expensive. Kind of taking things you have around the house. Like I said, I got some leftover bread. It's kind of chilly here. It's like in the 60s and getting down in the 30s, 40s at night, and I'm cheap. I don't want to turn on my heat yet, so I'm going to turn on the oven to make us some garlic bread and garlic toast, I guess you would say, for dinner. Now that the pasta is boiling, I did put a bay leaf in there so that the pasta can get that flavor. And the bay leaf is purely optional. If you want it in there, if you don't have to. I just do it because it adds a little bit more flavor to the pasta and to the hamburger. This is what I do with the butts or the end pieces, whichever you like to call them. Using hamburger buns or hot dog buns, if you have leftover of them, is also a good thing to use so you don't end up throwing them away. I'll put a little bit of butter and some garlic on there, and I'll put it in the oven on the broiler for just a couple of minutes to get it all nice and toasty. If you want mozzarella cheese on there, you can put some cheese on there too. But it's a very inexpensive way to have garlic toast with your meal. Oh, I will spray this pan just a little bit with some spray before I put it into the broiler. All right, I got some butter on there, and I'm sprinkling a little bit of garlic salt on there. And if you heard that in the background, I apologize. All right, friends, this is where we're at in the goulash making. The pasta is done, drained it, added the hamburger. Oh, that was a little warm. Keep forgetting that's hot. Gonna mix that in just a little bit. I'm doing everything with one hand because I'm holding the camera, so bear with me, friends. I'm going to add a little bit of the pasta sauce or tomato sauce and some of the diced tomatoes in there. I'm going to give that a little stir, kind of eyeball and see where we're at on the consistency of everything. I probably will add some more tomato sauce to this, and I'm gonna let you know what I do with my spices. I pour them, like the oregano and the basil and the Italian, those three, I will put them in the palm of my hand and I will kind of smash them up a little bit just to awaken the flavors before I add them. And everything I do, I just kind of eyeball it, like maybe just like in little well of your hand. It's about how much I do of them. I usually add a little bit more basil than I do oregano because I do like the flavor of basil in my pasta dishes. Here's how it's looking so far. I probably will end up adding this whole can. There isn't much of it left, so I'm going to go ahead and toss the rest of that in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese and turn it back on. We're going to put it on a low heat so it can simmer. And while that is simmering, There's my bay leaf in there still, right there. While this is simmering, I'm going to get the garlic bread that I made, and I already have the broiler on, and I have it on low, and I'm going to pop that in the oven or in the broiler so it can get nice and toasty. And I did one with and one without the cheese on there, just so you can see how it cooks up. And it usually only takes a couple minutes. So I don't put this in until we're pretty much ready to put our food on the table, because it does cook quickly. All right, friends, I just tasted the pasta and it seemed like it was missing something. So I'm going to add just a small little spoonful of garlic to it. Let's see if I can do this without spilling it. We'll get that in there. I'm not a huge garlic eater, but it seemed like it needed it. So we'll get that stirred in there and let all these wonderful, delicious flavors incorporate with each other. And this is a quick, easy, cheap meal again, I'm telling you, to make when you're like, not sure what I'm gonna do, and you got some tomatoes that are about to, or have, like me, gone past the best by date. And actually, you know, that's the last can that I have. Everything else that I have is 23 and up. And I am going to finish, hopefully finish this weekend, getting my pantry in order and give you guys a little tour of that. So I'm going to get this bread in the oven real quick and I'll get back to you. All right, friends, this is done. There's still a lot left in the pot. And unfortunately, I did not keep an eye on my bread and my ends got a little toasty, but that's okay. We'll still eat it. And I have a dish served out. I get my stitches out tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. And I miss seeing your guys' faces, so I'll be able to see you again. I plan on doing a video for shopping here too. Let's give this a try. Delicious. Perfect. Everybody can, like I said, taste test it, see what flavors you like. If you want to add more of something or less of something, definitely do that. It's a cheap, full, cheap meal that will fill your belly. Lost my train of thought on where I was going with my words on that one, but a little sad about my garlic bread that got a little toasty around the ends, but that's okay. We don't mind. We'll eat it just like that. And until the next video, friends, we'll see you then. Bye.